What a special day that so many of us will never, ever forget.
Yeah.
Pure Cinema, the boy from Hollywood, completes the Grand Slam at Augusta.
Yeah, the day that I made all my dreams come true.
How many times have you gone back to watch it and relive it again?
You know, I told myself that I wouldn't do it too many times because I want to be able to relive that day, you know, through my own memories and through what I saw through my own eyes. I've made the mistake before of big wins where the memories I have are more through what I see on the TV screen rather than what I see, you know, what I was seeing through my own eyes. So I think I've struck a good balance. I've watched it back enough, but I still have obviously some very vivid memories of that day.
Did you have any idea as the week began, you come in having won at Pebble Beach, you'd won the Players, did you feel like something special was going to happen that week?
No, I knew my game was in really good shape. You know, I probably come into the Masters with as much confidence as I'd ever had. You know, I felt confident before going into the Masters and it hasn't quite happened. But yeah, this year, I don't want to say it was like then or never, but it felt like a really good opportunity.
On Wednesday, the par 3 tournament, there's a moment with your little girl, Poppy. Did it actually enter your brain that maybe this is a harbinger of something special to come?
I've become a little skeptical of omens or signs, especially when I go to Augusta. So it was a wonderful moment, but I still didn't feel like it meant anything for what was to come.
Well, the very next day, you get this tournament started, and you are ablaze.
Now driving, Rory McIlroy.
That is so good.
He's got it on cruise control right now.
And then you get to 15.
Yeah.
Settle.
Easy,
Careful.
easy. This is headed for disaster.
I can't believe it.
It's gone.
That's going to sting.
I was 4 under playing that hole, went back to 2 under. I know, you know, Justin had shot a good score that day, but I still felt, you know, I was playing really good golf and I wasn't going to let that one mistake derail what had already been a really good round of golf.
17. It's hard to understate how important this putt is for Rory McIlroy.
And just like that, -4 on the 14th and back to even par with 2 doubles in the last 3 holes.
I was obviously disappointed when I walked off the course, and I needed that night to reset and to think about, okay, I played 16 very good holes of golf on Thursday. You know, I'm not going to let the 2 bad ones take away from what were a very good 16. So I went out with the mindset on Friday of not trying to chase too hard too early. It would have been easy to try to make all those shots back straight away and be over aggressive, and then all of a sudden you make an early bogey and then you're thinking about just trying to make the cut at that point. So I played a really patient and smart 9 holes of golf, that front 9 on Friday. Second shot on 10 was what really got me going.
Kind of waiting for that McIlroy highlight to happen today. What a shot, Rory, finally a dart.
I maybe rode my luck a little bit with the second shot on 13.
It's dangerously right. Oh, gosh.
The great round just gets greater.
That was craziness, Rory.
And the thrill ride continues. This for Eagle to get to 5 under. Hear the roar.
Struck with authority.
Looking back on a lot of Masters tournaments, people that have been aggressive and people that have taken risks, more often than not, those risks get rewarded.
That's a beautiful day of golf. Absolutely beautiful. 66 for Rory McIlroy to move right back in the thick of this tournament.
Got myself back in the tournament, proud of myself with how I played that second 9. Just, you know, I have a shot, you know, that's what you want. You're going into the weekend of the Masters, 2 behind, you're right there. You know, it's all to play for.
Saturday at the Masters. It's moving day.
On an absolutely stunning Saturday.
Just the biggest of names in professional golf atop this leaderboard.
It's going to be a fun day.
Here we are in the weekend, 2 back to begin the 3rd round, and you came out blistering hot and ripped a drive at 1. That was one of the best we've ever seen.
To the longest drive of the day. You ready for this? By 56 yards.
What about that monster drive?
Yeah, you know, I made a promise to myself once I got myself in that position going into the weekend that I was going to stay aggressive and I was going to go for my shot.
A statement birdie. McIlroy to 7 under par.
Here's Rory at the 2nd.
And it's in!
Eagle chip at 2.
This last 20 minutes has been a dream sequence.
McIlroy, the new leader. Rolling is Rory.
I'd never had a start like that before at the Masters. Yeah, and all of a sudden I'd hit the top of the leaderboard. You know, at that point, there's such a different mindset when you're chasing the lead to when you all of a sudden get the lead, especially when it turns around so quickly. And I had to keep telling myself, stay aggressive. Stay aggressive, stay aggressive. Keep going for your shots.
McIlroy for another one. He's out of his mind right now.
You always dream about starting like that, or you dream about a spell of golf at some point during the tournament where you feel like that. But that was the point where I started to think, I can win this tournament. You know, that first few holes on Saturday was a massive turning point in my mentality and my approach to the tournament.
Here you are with the lead, and you're at 15.
Yep.
Look at the elevation on this one. A rainbow maker.
Can McIlroy meet the moment?
He does. Big time eagle. Rory McIlroy suddenly bursts 4 in front at the Masters.
Yeah, that was a huge point in the tournament because I'd let a couple of shots slip before that, sort of around the turn. You know, that was a big moment to get those shots back.
He has a lead at the end of a round in a major for the first time since 2014.
'54-hole leader now at the Masters, and your game appears to be in perfect shape.
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Feeling great.
2 putts here from Bryson gets him into that final pairing with McIlroy.
It's good speed. Are you serious? Impossible.
I got goosebumps.
We're going to go into Sunday with some storylines here that are off the charts.
Yeah.
And you're aware of it. I know you're aware of everything.
Yeah, that was, and that, I think my thought at that point is like anyone else.
A final moment of solitude. Sunday morning at Augusta National. And the man leading the Masters walks alone on the edge of history. Today, this routine, perfected over a lifetime, feels like a portal to transformation. The hugs, the handshakes suddenly feel different, heavier, like a quiet farewell to a player we've always known, and the first glimpse of the legend he may become. Because this Sunday is not like the others. Yes, the course is the same, the competition familiar, but if history has taught us anything, Sunday will demand something more, something deeper, something rare. For Justin Rose, it's already been a brilliant week. But to erase a 7-shot deficit, he will need a round for the ages.
I woke up this morning just really grateful to be Sunday at Augusta. It's a special day in the game of golf no matter what. So you're going to have to go out there and want it and go for it.
For Bryson DeChambeau, he's 2 shots back in the final pairing. A moment in time where his bold approach, his precision, his power, his personality will face their greatest test.
The last 9 holes of the tournament, I'm going to feel nerves. I'm going to be focusing on how to control those nerves, and I think everybody kind of gets that way as well. I don't think anyone's immune to it. Even though I get nervous, it's a joy for me.
And for Rory McIlroy, 11 years of chasing golf's most elusive puzzle, achieved by only 5 players, the career Grand Slam.
Going into Sunday, I had a chance to win the Masters. I have this guy beside me that beat me at the US Open the previous summer. And, I didn't want to get dragged into me watching him and just trying to beat him. Look, I understand what a great storyline it is, but while you're in it, it's like I could do without this.
4, please. Now driving, Rory McIlroy. Now driving, Bryson DeChambeau.
These two both in danger of 5s.
Oh, wow, that could be outside of Bryson.
Never even had a chance to break with that sort of speed.
That is a 6.
It's a harder start for McIlroy.
This for par. He was 4 shots down to Rory late in the round yesterday, and now it's all been made up.
That's a poor shot from McIlroy.
It's a new leader. Bryson DeChambeau just took him 2 holes.
Bryson had taken the lead.
Yep.
How hard was that to accept, as well as you had played on Friday and Saturday and overnight leader, and it's disappeared that quickly?
Yes, I'd lost the lead, but I think what I was really telling myself was I want to get back to even par. I just thought, okay, if I can make a couple of birdies in the next few holes and get myself back to even par, I'll hopefully be right back in it.
Hops it on. A chance to maybe change some of the early momentum against him.
If he makes this, we could have another two-shot swing.
Birdie for McIlroy. Just what he needed. Bryson now faces a tough one for par. And there's the swing.
Justin Rose, the man that shot 65 on day one, just stakes it here at 7.
Bryson is putting for par from outside Rory's putt for birdie. It's a bogey. Knock this one in. Go 3 ahead. Back-to-back birdies. McIlroy in charge again.
These massive swings in scoring the whole way through the day, but I feel like early on, those first 4 or 5 holes were obviously a precursor to what was to come.
You got to the 7th hole and faced with your second shot a big decision. Take us through that.
I saw this gap in the trees, and I felt if I could hit it through that, and it's that feeder pin, like I could have a chance to make a birdie here. And then I go back to what I kept telling myself all week, which is stay aggressive, go for your shot, stay aggressive. If you see it, hit it. And Harry was, I wouldn't say pleading with me not to hit it, but he's like, pal, I don't see it. I don't know where you're looking here. I was like, no, I honestly, I think I've got it.
Clipped one little bit of that pine tree.
And it nearly clipped one little bit of the flag.
Look at that reaction.
If there are golfing gods, they kept rewarding me for staying aggressive.
Meantime, up ahead, Justin Rose is moving up the leaderboard.
Oh, Justin Rose.
Rose is still in this.
This to tie Bryson for second. Oh my goodness. Justin Rose is right back in the thick of it.
When did you take notice of that?
I tried to do a good job of not watching the leaderboards too much, but there comes a certain point in the day and in the tournament where you have to know where you are. I still had a nice cushion at that point, but Rosie was sort of setting the course on fire.
And now things are about to get even more interesting.
Yeah, very, very much so. Nine was big. Bryson and I had hit it in very similar distances.
Not sure who's going to be away.
I very clearly thought it was my putt, and he thought it was his putt. And obviously it's he's a couple behind, but it's a pivotal moment in the tournament because whoever gets the putt first, and if they make, puts the pressure back on the other guy. And I held my ground pretty strong. I was like, I really think it's mine. And then he wanted to flip a tee up to see, and I was like, this is the final round of the Masters. We can't flip a tee up. There's a ref down at the bottom of the hill. Let's just get him to come up and measure it. And then he sort of let it go and he said, "That's fine, you can go." So I was like, okay. So I was pretty proud of myself for just standing firm on that.
A lot of Masters champions have birdied the 9th hole on Sunday, including Scheffler last year, Nicklaus in '86. McIlroy with birdie in 2025. After all of that, double at the first hole. He shoots under par on that side. Rory will go to the second side with a 4-shot lead.
I felt like that was a huge piece of momentum to take with me to the 10th tee.
Did you guys talk a lot during that round? And 9, obviously.
Yeah, there was that interaction on 9, but apart from that, no. But I don't think I would have talked to anyone. I'm trying to do something that I've wanted to do my whole life. I could have been out there with Shane Lowry, who's my best friend on tour. I probably wouldn't have talked to him either. This is big business. And
yeah,
it's
serious stakes
it's
here.
Serious, really serious. So that wasn't because it was Bryson. It was the sheer size of the moment that I had my man Harry beside me, and if that's who I was going to talk to.
How big was the birdie at 10?
10 was huge for a few different reasons.
Club comes out of his hands. Doesn't matter. What a shot.
Even before I looked up to see where the ball was, I felt like it was going to go left. And I look up and it's going right to the pin. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice surprise.
McIlroy pours it in.
I think it completely puts the ghosts of 2011 behind me. And after making the birdie putt on 9 to then making the birdie putt on 10, that climb back to the 11th tee was all of a sudden feeling pretty good.
Gentle, careful.
I heard the sort of groan of the crowd as it was rolling towards there, and then the cheer when it stopped. Yeah, it was quite fortunate.
Another huge moment to keep the cushion. It was a nervy hole, wasn't it? Very fortunate it stopped. But 5.
Justin Rose, he's 3 holes up ahead, and now he faces a crucial moment if he wants to put any more pressure on Rory. Biggest swing of the day is coming up. That's just fine. And this is Rose. That threatened.
Rosie's 3 back. This is not over yet. There's a lot of golf left to be played.
So now here you are at 13 with a 3-shot lead.
Yeah.
Playing your 3rd shot.
Yeah.
Rory's left himself the beautiful, safest angle, just 86 to the hole.
Look for this a little long and a little left. Oh, Rory. Oh, my goodness.
Can't explain it.
It was a very lethargic, sort of very passive swing. There was no aggressiveness to it. And I left the club face open, and just the worst place you could hit it.
This was so far from where he was looking.
It's 25 yards offline.
I've been back at Augusta National since, and I've went over to that spot and I've re-hit that shot, and I think to myself, how on earth can you hit it in the creek from here?
Is it hard to go back and think about that?
It is. You know, we talked at the start about going back to watch, you know, the final round or the final few holes. I always seem to skip past the 13th for whatever reason.
I'll go from 12 to 15.
Yeah, 13 and 14 we forget.
And that's a double.
His fourth of the week
for McIlroy.
I ended up not getting that ball up and down and went to one ahead, but I think at that point Justin was just about to make birdie on 16 and pull alongside me.
Never, ever in doubt. The unthinkable just happened. They are tied.
When it's all said and done, how would you rank that shot in your remarkable career? Because everybody has highs and lows.
It was, it's not the worst shot, but it's, I think in the moment and under the circumstances, it was a mental lapse that could have cost me everything. So I guess it was pretty bad.
Oberg for birdie. Oh my goodness. We've got 3 players separated by a total of 1 shot. Now it's about as riveting as it could be.
And McIlroy now under severe pressure.
And he has now lost the lead at the 89th Masters tournament.
Rose has a putt for par to stay 1 in front of Rory and Ludwig.
So it's a 3-way tie now at 10 under par as Rose makes bogey on the 71st hole.
You know, as much as I talk about not looking at leaderboards at this point with 4 or 5 holes to go, you need to know where you are. But there is no leaderboard on 14, so I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess I thought I was tied for the lead. I felt like if I could birdie 15, you know, I still had a good chance to win the tournament. This is the moment where your Masters dreams, you know, take flight or they lie in tatters.
Is this enough? It is. Oh, here it comes. The shot of a lifetime.
I had a little margin for error. I had a bailout. I knew the bunker was there, and all I needed to do was strike it good. Just hit it out of the middle, hit it solid. If it turns, it turns. If it doesn't, I can still make a 4 from right of the green.
It looked like you flushed it.
Yeah, I just full commitment, full. Again, it goes back to that theme of the week. Is, you know, anytime I stayed aggressive and I took it on, I got rewarded. So many things have to go in your favor to win a golf tournament, let alone win the Masters, and let alone win the Masters to then complete the Grand Slam. You have to ride your luck. There is some luck involved, and I certainly had my fair share of luck that week.
Someone, I can't recall who, thought it was a shot of a lifetime.
Someone did say that.
Was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that was feeble.
Sure was left all the way.
It's a birdie still to take the lead back by 1.
I didn't walk off that green disappointed. I was happy to make a birdie and felt like I'd got myself, back into, a great position to win the tournament.
And that is just what he needed to do on 16.
Rose has a putt to tie the lead. Got a chance. Oh, wow, what a putt. Justin Rose at the 72nd. No lead is safe around here.
Were you aware of what that was when you heard it?
No. I mean, I knew it when I saw the 11 go up on the leaderboard, and he got to 11 under and he birdied the last.
Big moment here for McIlroy for birdie and the lead.
McIlroy cannot make magic.
Once I got through 16, I knew that I needed to play the last 2 and 1 under to win, and I needed to par the last 2 for a playoff.
Rory needs one great shot, one great putt, and it's his.
Go. 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 Right, baby. Go.
What a shot for Rory McIlroy. For birdie and a 1-shot lead.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
You make a par, you win the Masters, you complete your Grand Slam and a lifelong dream that you've had since you were 7 years old. But the first part of that process is hitting a good drive. I stepped up and I hit the most perfect tee shot. Right up the middle, little baby fade, and put myself in the best position possible to make a par from there and win the tournament.
My goodness. Wow. He's put us all through the ringer. Can't imagine what he feels like.
Still not disastrous. I still felt like I could get that up and down to win the tournament. I still had pretty positive thoughts walking up to that bunker shot. I feel I hit a better bunker shot than what the result was. There was no doubt in my mind that I was going to hold that putt.
The story's been written a million times. The questions have been asked repeatedly. When, if, can you do it? All of those moments lead to this. Going to a playoff. First playoff at the Masters since 2017 when Justin Rose was a participant.
All you can do is do your best in that moment. And that's where Harry said to me, "Pal, we would have taken this position on Monday morning when we got here." I was like, yeah, we would have. What an opportunity. So it went from ruining the chance that I had to win to then being like, no, I still have this wonderful opportunity to win this golf tournament.
Perfect.
Time for the biggest reset of his career.
He's managed to do it. Oh, hits right next to the hole. Might be going right at it. Should come back down off the slope. Goodness.
The 18th green is quite a bit above your eye level when you're walking up there, so you don't see the golf balls until you're 20 yards away from the green. And with how good of a shot Justin hit, I was really surprised to see how far away his ball was, but I was just as surprised to see how close mine was. So when I got up there, I was like, wow. But, you know, at that point, I fully expected Justin to make that putt.
The door is open again for McIlroy to finish it off.
All I said to myself was inside left and make a good stroke.
Journey is over. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
You dream about winning Masters. You think about maybe what your celebration might be or what you would do. But for that, it was just pure relief. The one thing I would wish for everyone else in this world is to feel what I felt when I was on my hands and knees on that green on 18 that day, because that is the sense of relief and joy and pride and satisfaction and everything that just sort of comes with it. It's just this culmination of this thing you've dreamt about for your lifetime, and it all just came pouring out of me. The one thing I remember, my forehead was on the green, and I screamed at the top of my lungs twice. Just screamed. I just needed to get it out.
Primal. And then it still gets me a little bit, but I get up off the floor, I turn around, and the first person I see is Harry. I see my best friend, and then I scream again. And it's just this, like, who gets to do that? That is just the most incredible thing. It just seemed like everyone was so happy for me, which is like such a surreal feeling that, you had this group of, this big group of people all pulling for the same result, and I just feel incredibly lucky that I got to experience it.
I gotta go get a green jacket.
You come into Butler Cabin and you got choked up.
I want to say hello to my mum and dad. They're back home in Northern Ireland.
They made a lot of sacrifices for you.
They did, and I can't wait to see them next week. I just can't wait to celebrate this with them. Yeah. It still is hard for me to get the words out, because I now, as a parent, knowing what my mum and dad did for me to give me this opportunity to live out this dream, the nights that my dad brought me to the driving range when he probably didn't want to because he was tired from working so much, or when, just the sacrifices that they made and the things that people don't see, those are the things that'll stay with me. For them, to still be here, to see that dream come to fruition, and to see their boy do what he did. Yeah, that's the amazing thing.
My family, my team, they've been on this journey with me the whole way through. They know the burden that I've carried to, come here every year and try again. And the one thing I would say to my daughter Poppy that's sitting over there, never give up on your dreams. Never ever give up on your dreams.
What happened that day is beyond my wildest dreams. How it happened, how long it took, I wouldn't change any of it, because it culminated in this amazing ending to what is a very special story.
Never give up on your dreams.
Never give up on your dreams.
Yeah. Got to thank you on
Thank
behalf
you.
of every golf fan out there.
Thank you.
That got a chance to watch that and live the ups, the downs, the odyssey you took them through on that final day. It made it even sweeter in the end.
It did.
Congratulations again, Rory.
Thank you.